more time. Um, Once again, my name is Joy Webb. Video is not working, so I'm going to just talk about what giving circles are and how they can be sustainable for your organization with a nonprofit. So, the reality is a giving circle is a group of people that give their time, their talent, and their treasure. They do that intentionally and strategically to help nonprofits and build a better community. They do that continuously, so that it is not just a one and done situation. They come together and they give year after year, quarter after quarter, so they can be legacy building in their community. This topic that I'm talking about today is how we have giving circles that can help complement and sustain nonprofits. And one of the ways that we have learned over the years looking at the giving circle model and how it is life changing for a lot of nonprofits because the money is given in a way that is unrestricted funds, not restricted funds, which are oftentimes what nonprofits get when they have to have money for a particular programming or a particular initiative that they have. When you get money from a giving circle, it is given with unrestricted funds. So that means it could be used for things like keeping the lights on. And we know that that's important for nonprofits. So, one of the things that I would say to help complement and sustain a nonprofit would be a giving circle because we know that a lot of people want to support your nonprofit and they want to support it for a long time. And instead of being a fundraising campaign, you can have a giving circle where everyday people doing extraordinary things that want to support your organization because they believe in your cause and your purpose and your mission, they can give. And they can give their time, their talent, and their treasure, which is one of the key components of the collective giving circle model. And so when they're able to do that, they are able to share and showcase several different elements to elevate and amplify your nonprofit. So I'm going to just give you an example of how that could happen. Let's just say we have a nonprofit that focuses on environmental change, and they have a cohort. And so this cohort, which would be people that are experts in the fields, and maybe they have inventions or sustainability models or plans for environments that can enhance and advance the environment. So the cohort of, let's say, 10, 15 people, they've done the programming, they have been connected and have been through the programs for this organization, for this nonprofit. But now the nonprofit wants to actually support them. And a way that they can do that is to amplify their voices by showcasing what those people from the cohort actually did. But then also, they can um, have a giving circle that will support the initiatives of the cohort, meaning their particular initiatives or the initiative to continue a cohort for that nonprofit, in this case, an environmental nonprofit. So, what we are up against is being able to sustain the organization. So this is another avenue, a revenue generating, give back generating situation where the organization has the opportunity to amplify the people who went through their cohort, and it also has the opportunity to amplify the organization as well. And that is done through a giving circle, or can be done through a giving circle. So you have your friends, your family that support you, come to your event. Maybe they want to do more than just fundraise. Maybe they want to pour into the cohort, or do some training using their time, their talent, and maybe their connections, their ties that they have. So this is one example of the many ways that a nonprofit and a giving circle can coexist. And it can be a piece of the nonprofit. It does not have to be another nonprofit within the nonprofit. It can be a piece of, or like I said, a definite complementary tool for the nonprofit. One of the ways that is it's used is to be able to pour back into the nonprofit. So it's a way to give money It's a way to continuously get money where you can have donors give every year or every quarter or every check, however, and they can see where their money is going for a particular initiative of the organization, whether that be something that is long term or systematic. Maybe it's policy driven. But the giving circle would have an opportunity to talk and speak together to figure out how they would want to help the organization. So that is how a giving circle can be really, really, really intentional and amplify the voices and the mission of the organization that is a nonprofit doing great things in the community. It is just a way to extend your family and also amplify the voices of the members in the community that are supporting you and your nonprofit. One one thing that comes to mind is, hey, well, if I have a nonprofit, why would I need a giving circle? Well, as I talked about earlier, it really is to complement the organization. It really is to make sure that you have some depth of your organization, and also could be something that you could do to have other people speak of your praises for the nonprofit. So if you have 50 people that are part of a giving circle that are pouring into your organization from a time, talent, and treasure perspective, you also have 50 voices that can share it with others, and you all can have events and or showcase things that are happening within the organization. You can also showcase how this organization would be something that you want to be a part of, and you don't have to necessarily be a part of it all the time, right? So you may not have a lot of time, but you have some treasure, and you have some connections, and you have some talent that you want to pour in. So when you have a giving circle model, it may not be all about the money. It might be that you need somebody to help you write a grant, and you have giving circle members that can do that. So that's why we showcase time, talent, and treasure. We also showcase that it is the collective. It is the collective of the giving circle that actually help um, sustain the organization. They are really like your secret sauce. They are really the people who are pushing outside of your staff and your volunteers. They're like a superstar volunteer because they have put their energy um, into being intentional about how you're going to give back to your community, or a spectrum of how you can give back from your nonprofit, whether that's a certain program that you want to amplify, a new program, a new initiative, or collaboration with another organization. The Giving Circle model is one that really helps broaden your team and your perspective. It also helps with your give back, because a lot of times when we have various voices in the room for a giving circle, you get to see different viewpoints. And because the giving circle is people, just everyday people who've been committed to the same cause, they are able to share their stories, and also make sure that everybody's voice is heard from a consensus standpoint. So it might be that, hey, this organization needs something. They have to have they need to raise some funds for a group of students, for a trip or a initiative or a program that they're starting for young students. The Giving Circle could take that on and take that initiative and say, hey, we're going to provide services for that. We're going to provide our time, our talent, and our treasure. And so if it's for students, and maybe they're trying to go somewhere like a ceremonial place or a convention, the Giving Circle might take that initiative on for that year and say, hey, we can help support that. We can help make sure that we have other donors that can give to these students, and they can provide funds. We can also help and say that we will make sure that they're that they have all the tools that they need, whether that is books or um, clothing or laptops, to get there. That might be through a relationship. That would be your time. You've worked that time. So that would be another way how we can connect that giving circle with that initiative. And then with the talent, it might be that they, ride the buses, drive the buses, make sure the transportation is taken care of by really putting in that hard work, that sweat equity to make sure that the students get to their destination. That is how a giving circle works. That's how people get really sticky with your organization. And sticky meaning they stick and stay. They don't go away because of their connections, their time, their talent, and their treasure. Um, they are committed to helping you get to the next level. And it is a great way to just, as I say, it's a great way to just extend your bench, making sure that, people are talking about your great organization without you actually having to talk about your great organization. You have others that are in the room speaking about how great it is because they've been a part of it. And they may not work for the organization, but being a part of a giving circle, they're a part of the family. And it also is an opportunity for people to understand that, in giving, they can we can be very flexible. We can chart our own course. We can figure out what initiative we'll work with this year versus next year. What we do know is that we will always stay committed to that nonprofit. So you can really help your organization have more depth because you will be able to possibly encourage and engage the giving circle with working on some of the things that you may not have the opportunity to because you might not have the bandwidth or your staff might not have the bandwidth, or maybe it's a new idea or a collaboration with another organization. The giving circle could be there because of the time, the talent, and the treasure. It could be there because you need more voices to amplify all the great work that you're doing. It could be there because you know that in order for you to sustain, you have to be able to pour into the community in an intentional way. And these people that would be here to promote, it's almost like your street team. They would be there because they're there to serve and they're also there to learn. So as you grow, the nonprofit might have some new opportunities. The Giving Circle can be there to help either usher those new opportunities in or help push those opportunities out and make sure that they're actually being done. It could be strategic thinking, a strategic plan. I have a giving circle in Atlanta, Georgia, and we've had the opportunity to work with nonprofits to have marketing plans, to help with accounting, to help with volunteering, to help with figuring out how they get to one place to another, whether that's a traveling trip or opportunities for speaking at a conference, being on different platforms in different stages. And then one of the really exciting things about the Giving Circle is it continues to give. And what or what I've learned for sure is that too much is given, much is required. The organizations in which we have been able to partner with, because it's not granting, it's partnering. You all are doing great work in your nonprofit, and the Giving Circle is just there to help partner with you to continue to help you do that great work. We've learned that we have inspired some to start their own giving circles. You also have an opportunity to give continuously, and also share with the organizations and connect organizations, because my giving circle in Atlanta actually focuses on youth, and we've been doing that for the past 13 or 14 years. I've had opportunity to work with several nonprofits that focus on youth in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I have had the opportunity to connect some organizations that could do things together. So they're getting the opportunity to be collective. I've had an opportunity to be able to introduce people so that they can learn from older nonprofits that work in the same industry or the same field or the same niche market. And so they've been able to ask questions to older organizations that may be in the field that they're in. They've been able to learn, they've been able to partner, they've been able to get additional grants, because a lot of times when you look at having money come into your organization, you realize that, oh, well, if I can put this, if I can highlight that this organization gave to me, then maybe I can get a matching grant. And that's really big in the philanthropic world right now. So if you have money coming in unrestricted funds from an organization, quote unquote, a giving circle that already supports you because they already are connected to your organization, it's kind of like an in-house marketing team. Then you can have say, hey, I have a grant from our giving circle that's pouring into us because they really respect what we're doing and they want us to be able to continue to be sustainable. I also have and in that grant they have given me $10,000. I'm making up numbers here, but they've also given me time. And in the time, you have to have a value to that. So when you add that time, and maybe they've given you, 2,000 hours, 2,000 volunteer hours. And maybe they connected you with, a Microsoft or a Google, a big corporate company that will help you with an initiative that you have in the upcoming years in your strategic plan. Those things add up and they add impact. And impact is great. It is collective impact. And it is life changing for nonprofits and the giving circles and all that they touch. Because when you add the 10,000 and then you add the 2,000 hours, and then you have a relationship that you might not have been able to get just on your own, or you just didn't have the time. I won't even say that you weren't able to get it on your own. It's just that you're too busy running the organization that you don't have the bandwidth to actually go out and make those relationships. And it's easier when somebody else already has that relationship, right? So it would be amazing to be able to connect that time, that talent, and that treasure. So that grant of $10,000 liquid might end up being $30,000 in the end, or it might end up being $50,000. And then the power of the collective might influence other people to give too. So we know that a small group of people can indeed change the world. We know that nonprofits are doing things to change the world every day. And so with the Giving Circle model, you can actually enhance and elevate and advocate for your organization with everyday givers doing extraordinary things because they want to pour into your organization, and they don't have to work at your organization to be able to pour into your organization. And you don't always have to say, hey, I need, this many dollars. You can say, hey, do you have some time? Do you have some talent that we can use? We have a group of people that focus on that, and they are a giving circle, and you can join them, and you don't have to manage it because they already are helping you. That's not necessarily your role. You tell them what you need, and they can work with you all, and you all can partner, and they can help you. The Giving Circle is very, very helpful. It is also a tool that is needed for a lot of nonprofits to just encourage and support. That is something that is, really, really, really effective by the support given from individuals that are there to assist, there to serve in a limited capacity. But the power of the collective, as I spoke about earlier, shows you a great impact, which can change the world, which will change your community, which could change the way that you do your business in the end, because you have more people, you have more exposure, and you have more opportunities to do the work in different ways because you have people behind you cheering you on, connecting you, amplifying you, and giving money back, and planting that seed into your nonprofit, which you have planted so many seeds in already. So you have others planting seeds into your nonprofit, and they're the first sowers of the seeds. So they're saying, we got you, we're here for you, we support you. And that is a sustainable model year after year after year. And it can be different parts of your organization year after year after year. If your giving circle is committed to helping you, if a giving circle is committed to helping you, to pour into you, if you all can think about together what you need, what would be sustainable, what would be something that they want to do, because you want to make sure you pull those voices in that are part of the giving circle, because they want to help. You just need to know how they want to help so that they can help. I think that it is a win-win for all. And I think that everybody gets an opportunity to showcase their leadership and their collective giving model, and the love of people, which is philanthropy. So I appreciate you all listening to me today, to talk about giving circles and how they help nonprofits be sustainable, or they're an option. My name is Joy Webb. I like to call myself the collective giving evangelist, because I love to talk about how we can come together and we can do more together, and we can pour into our organizations and help them be sustainable and thrive in these climates that are a little difficult for nonprofits currently. Thank you so very much. If there are any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I would be more than happy to answer them. And if there are not, I think our session is about over. So I will let you all have the rest of your day. I appreciate you listening. If you'd like to be in touch with me, my giving circle is the Circle of Joy ATL. So circleofjoyatl.org is my particular giving circle. I am also, you can also email me, joybwebb@gmail. Really simple, just my name. And I would love to stay in touch and stay connected. Thank you so very much, and have a great day.